I'm feeling quite a bit of energy, which is weird.
That's good, though.
Let's all track this.
I'm getting
Everybody
my energy from my
today.
Starbucks.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Well, this morning we are joined by one of our favorite people and authors, Erica Carlson. Erica is an author, magician, balloon sculptor, and she's also human companion to one of our cutest guests ever, Sedgie the Hedgie.
Yes. Welcome, Erica. How are you doing this morning?
Thank you. I'm doing well. Nice to be here. And Sedgie is super excited to be here as well as he tries to wake up, even though he's nocturnal and really wants to be sleeping.
I know. I'm trying to get my eyes off Sedgie, but I'm going to do this whole radio show just looking at Sedgie.
I'm doing the same thing. I'm seeing him doing his little morning yoga stretches, and I'm just like, oh, yeah.
That's a good idea.
I should have done that, too.
Stretch with Sedgie.
Oh, yeah.
But we're going to talk in depth with Erica in the second half of the show.
We are.
I really can't wait to hear about your new book.
Thank
but
you.
for now, let's dive into some books that we're all reading. So, Molly, what have you been up to?
Well, I am getting ready for the Friends of the Library author event. So I read my first Joyce Maynard book this week, and I'm really excited about it. I read Count the Ways. This is one of her longer books, but it is totally worth it. Normally, I don't pick up sort of realistic fictions. And this one, really, at first, I was sort of like, okay, fine, I'll read it. And then I quickly got pulled right in. So this is the story of Eleanor. And Eleanor's just had sort of a rough life. And as we start, we are at the wedding of her son, Al. And we're hearing how she's been so estranged from her children, and we're learning all these things that are going on. We have no idea why. And then Joyce Maynard does a great job of yanking us back to Eleanor's childhood, where both of her parents, who were really sort of into each other and could care less about her, sent her away to a boarding school, and then they died in a car accident, and you're like, oh my gosh. And then she decides she's going to find out who she is, and she buys this farm, and then she falls in love. 4 years later, they have 3 kids, and life is happening all along.
Wow.
And she loves being a mother, but it's frustrating. And she's always talking about that internal crazy woman that I think all of us have.
We do.
And though this is a story of raising children, it's really a story of those relationships that come and go, and the things that we do to ourselves and the things that we do to each other. And her family is imperfect. And you feel for her, and you see her guilt in the situation. And I just have to say, Joyce Maynard really wrote a family in a way that I haven't read for a while. It's really honest, you know.
It sounds very relatable.
It is very relatable. Her daughter Allison wants to become Al, but nobody realizes their childhood is set in like the 70s and 80s. So I have to say it was really wild kind of going through their childhood and thinking of my own. You know, her kids are the age I was when the Challenger exploded. And there's this whole scene in there about her daughter getting so excited about the Challenger, just getting, you know, I remember that energy we all had, and then we were all sitting somewhere as a class, and the devastation that comes from that.
Yeah.
And their family has another devastation that happens that really only Eleanor knows about that day, and her husband. The kids don't know about what really happened at the end of that day. So lots of corners, lots of twists and turns. Like I said, you're going to love Eleanor. You're going to be frustrated with Eleanor. You're going to feel for Eleanor. You're going to be angry at her at times. But she's a human. So I've got to say, my first Joyce Maynard, absolutely into it. Can't wait to talk to her. She's going to be a guest in a few weeks. But I can't wait for her book talks to start learning how she creates these in-depth stories. There's got to be a little personal, but yet you also can't share that much personal. She's done her research. It's wonderful. So Count the Ways by Joyce Maynard.
That sounds really good. I've had her on my list, so I appreciate hearing.
And
all
like
that.
I said, I tend to not go for those realistic sort of family stories. I kind of lean towards what Jayna likes. We go a lot of sci-fi, a little horror, a little, you know.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I am really, really glad that the friends were bringing her, and it gave me the opportunity to dive into a new author.
Good for you for branching out.
You got to do it sometimes.
That's
You got to
right.
do it.
That's right.
Erica, what have you been reading?
Oh, my. Oh, I have been diving deep into The House in the Cerulean Sea by T.J. Klune.
And we both
I
got
love that
So good. But do you know what Libby did the other day?
What?
Well, Libby didn't warn me that I was coming up on my due date, and I ended up being like within an hour of finishing this audiobook, and it got returned.
No!
So don't tell me how it ends.
Okay,
it was
I'm gonna stay
definitely
quiet.
the resolution, and I was like, I can't wait to see how this wraps up. And so I think I might be seen in the corner of a library reading it soon. I'm just going to find a copy.
We would love that.
And just read it in the library because I have so little left.
And if you need me to watch Hedgie or Sedgie while you're
might
doing
need
that,
that. And I have a son
then, I'm here.
Yeah, my son is named Linus, and so Linus Baker as a character was just the sweetest character for me to just hear his name said so much because it's just not a common name that you hear a lot.
No, it's not.
And the magical youth, and just since I work with kids and everybody had these superpowers and extremely upper management, oh man, just the whole system and the world that was built there was just so captivating to me. And I loved that. Well, I am loving that story, and I can't wait to actually finish it. And I have deep dived into Chris Harris's poetry lately with my kids.
Nice.
Oh my gosh, so funny. It's like a Shel Silverstein of the modern age, kind of. It's clever. Even the page numbers have different math problems and things.
Are you kidding?
Oh, there's so many little Easter eggs, and my clever kids and I love to just giggle at all of Chris Harris's poetry. I'm Just No Good at Rhyming is one of his books, and then the second one is My Head Has a Bellyache.
Oh,
yeah.
That is fantastic. I forget how much I love poetry. I put this, like, when we had to tear it apart in high school idea in my head that poetry must be. And then I get a good poem, and you're just like, oh, no, this is actually like medicine.
Yes.
It's just what I needed right now. I don't have to tear it apart. I can just feel.
Yeah.
So
and laugh and giggle,
laugh. Yes.
And, words are
but
so
if you
fun to play
love
with.
tearing things apart, you can still do it if you want.
Oh, for
That's
sure.
for each individual.
We're
No
all
judgment.
different,
No judgment.
and that's okay.
That's right.
Jayna, what are you reading right now?
Well, like you said, we read a lot of similar
We
things.
really do. In fact, I have a lot of trouble when you come on the show because then I want to read what you did and I have to talk about another book.
Well, this is one that you are going to want to put on your list. Sorry, not sorry.
Sorry, not sorry. I know you.
It's and I've talked about this author before. It's Silvia Moreno Garcia, and I was lucky enough to meet her when she came to Columbus, and she was talking about her new book, which at the time was Silver Nitrate. I think that's still her most recent. But I happened to buy it when I was at that talk and got it signed by her. So I have
That is
I'm
always
reading my signed
exciting.
edition.
Oh, so special.
But yeah, Silver Nitrate. So the whole premise of this book is really intriguing to me. It is set in Mexico City in the 1990s, and our heroine, and I'm gonna mess up her name. It's Montserrat, something like that. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing it somewhat correctly. But she's a super talented but woefully underemployed sound editor for films.
Yes.
And it's, a very male-dominated industry at that time. And so she's, the really talented woman that they're always like, oh, go over here, little lady. You don't get any hours this week because you're difficult. So she's our heroine, and her lifelong best friend is Tristan. And they grew up together, and he ended up being this, soap star in Mexico. And then there was a horrible car accident. His girlfriend and co-star was driving, but everybody blames him because he was, a substance abuser at the time. So they think it was him. It was not. She was actually driving. She was killed. He had some facial scarring and surgeries afterward, and so he's had a hard time finding work after all of that. But then Tristan has a new neighbor move in. His name is Abel. And he is a former director from the 50s, and he was a huge director of horror films.
This is getting good.
Yes, exactly. And both Tristan and Montserrat are huge fans of his. And there's this story about a film that he had started but never finished, and all these horrible things happened. And so they start talking to him about it. And he tells them that the person who wrote it was a Nazi occultist. Who believed that he could, cast a spell using, and the reason it's called Silver Nitrate, it was Silver Nitrate film at the time, which is why it was a silver screen. Silver Nitrate film is highly unstable. It is hugely flammable, will explode, it breaks down. Wow. So all the film was taken by this other woman and destroyed. Well, he secretly had one canister that he's been keeping in his freezer, regular freezer.
Oh my!
All these years.
Oh, no.
And he's like, if we can finish this and overdub it, I think we can finish the spell and bring us all good fortune.
Ooh.
And, as soon as you hear
I
Nazi
feel like that's
occultist
gonna be
and
bad
spell,
fortune, yeah.
you can kind of see that it's not going to go the way that everybody thinks it's going to go.
No.
Nazi sorcerer spells, I don't know. Call me crazy. But they go ahead and they overdub it, and then, things just start to fall apart.
Wow.
But it is well worth the ride. It is. I'm not going to tell you any of the creepy things that happen, but read it. It's a good story.
I need like 3 weeks off just so I can read all of her books and then get some to talk about on the radio.
Yeah, but I like the way that she writes characters. They're always flawed. They always, have their own foibles, and they're just interesting to read. So,
yes.
Even the best folks in there, they have their own things. But
Kinda
I
like
love
us.
her books.
Nobody's
Love her books.
perfect.
But
Nobody.
it's a great summer read. Take it to the beach in daylight. That's my advice. Yeah. Well, we are here with our special guest, Erica Carlson. Erica, I think you had a show at Liberty Branch last night, yes?
I think so too.
Yes, I did. We rocked it down there in that beautiful meeting room of that beautiful library.
Isn't it
so
gorgeous?
fun. It is
We
gorgeous.
love it.
Yeah.
It's like majestic. You drive up, it's just gorgeous. And Luke was helping me wrangle the kids and set these wonderful expectations for how to be a good audience member. And the kids were so joyful and fun. There was especially one little boy during this trick where a flower is appearing and disappearing. And he was like, wait, where is it going? And like, I can't see it. Whenever I look at it, the flower petals disappear, but then the kids can see it. So they're pointing, they're losing their minds, like literally pointing and screaming at this flower. But every time I look at it, it disappears. And oh gosh, back and forth. It was so fun. And then Sedgie, of course, appears at the end out of a giant book called How to Find a Hedgehog. To read about how we need to go to in a hot air balloon all the way to Europe and find this hedgehog. And it's like, how are we going to do that before bedtime? This is a lot.
That is a lot.
So we end up magicking, which is now a verb,
Yes.
Sedgie
Yes.
to us at the library.
Oh.
And this magic show is what is my book is based on this balloon mystery magic show. So we find these missing balloons, and we find Sedgie the Hedgie by the end, and the kids are just always so excited.
I love it.
I
Well,
love
tell us
it.
about your new book.
Yes.
This is your
Yes.
second, am I
This
right?
is my second book. So the first one, Sedgie the Hedgie Finds the Treasure, based on my pirate magic show, which I did last summer here at the Delaware County District Libraries. But this one's called Sedgie the Hedgie Solves the Case. So it's a mystery.
I love
And I'll set the stage. It's Clover the pup's birthday, and Sedgie the Hedgie wants to give her a special birthday present. So he twists her a balloon hat. Because I'm a balloon artist with 25 years of experience twisting balloons. And over the years, I've twisted balloons for so many children. And the sad part about balloons is that they don't last forever,
They
right?
don't.
So this book is about this missing balloon hat. Because Sedgie goes to sleep. He has a dream that Clover loves her hat. Oh, but then when he wakes up, it's missing. And he's really worried about how to tell Clover, I made you this hat, but now it's missing. So he tells her, he does the hard thing. And she says, well, that's okay. You got me a mystery for my birthday. So they go on this little they go on this little mystery detective case to solve the case of what happened to this balloon hat. And they review, the facts they know and the questions that they need to answer.
Oh, I like these skills here, like
Oh, I
detective
know,
skills.
right?
We
Yeah.
all need them.
Yes, we need to think it through.
This
and
is why
review.
we're going to solve the unsolved mysteries.
Oh, yeah. And this book is great for like preschool up to like second grade-ish, but even older if you're a young kid at heart. And Monty the monkey comes back as a suspect. My turtle Picasso is in this book with his friend Boris the tortoise, who we met at a class visit. They're the turtle crew. Kind of like rough and tumble. They got their leather vest and bandana on. Of course, they make their puns about celebrating Clover's birthday. Oh, the roses they pick are totally going to make the decorations wonderful. And then there's this message cipher that Monty the monkey puts in the trees. He rearranges happy birthday into a different order. And then there's a key for each letter representing a new letter, and there's a clue message.
I love those clue
that.
messages.
I know. And kids never write in a library book. Copy
Never.
the lines.
I never had
And
that problem.
Write the message on a separate piece of paper when you solve this little clue. So that's exciting. Monty kind of has a redeeming moment. And are you sure kids aren't listening?
Well, kids, if you're listening, I need you to do me a favor right now. I want you to stick your fingers just barely in your ears so that you can't hear for just about a minute. Okay, we should be good now, Erica.
Okay, cool. So this, spoiler alert, it's kind of a public service announcement for all children. If you read this book to your children, grown-ups, it will help you teach them that balloons pop on the grass.
Yes.
The villain of this book is pretty much nature. The wind.
Now, why do balloons pop on grass?
Yeah,
because it looks so soft.
I know, right? There's just little micro sharp edges to grass. It's blades of grass. To balloons,
blades of grass.
They pop like a bubble on grass, and a lot of kids don't know that, and they wait in line for almost an hour sometimes
and their
at
feet
festivals.
are tougher than ours because they don't always wear their shoes, and they get those little calluses.
Yeah.
And I'm always using my petty egg, and I don't get those little calluses, so I don't always. I think I feel that a little bit more when I walk on the grass.
You feel those little blades of grass on your feet. Well, so balloons, the wind blew the balloon hat out of the burrow. It pops on the grass. And so they learn that accidents happen, and it's really nobody's fault. It's just like one of those things, because I don't know, the blame game, it can happen a lot. So they learn it's you got to be careful with balloons, obviously. And birthdays are more about the time you spend together rather than the presents. So it's kind of
that's
a
good message.
Just enjoying who you're with and the time you have together.
Parents, you can tell your kids to block their ears.
and we do have Sedgie here today, and I've been watching him raptly, and he keeps getting his cute little head stuck in the tiny little Dixie cup.
He's getting his own hat.
Oh, yes, he does. And as this microphone gets closer to him, he might huff and puff.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that's
good.
Great. Sorry, Sedgie. Oh, that's him being like, what? I'm on the radio?
Job,
all right, so now I'm going to drop some worms in there because that's his treasure.
Oh. I am here dying.
I think we all are.
Oh, goodness. Yep, that's his treasure.
I love it.
I wish I sounded that cute when I was eating.
Oh, I know, right? Just num, 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 num.
I always have that crunchy thing in a quiet room with other people. There's always something crunchy. I don't sound all cute like you, Sedgie.
Oh, I know. And then he's just going to go back to sniffing.
You did have a performance last night, but if whoever didn't make it last night, never fear. We have more.
We do.
Programs with Erica coming up. So
we have one, I believe, coming up.
June 12th.
On June 12th at our Ostrander branch.
Yep.
That'll be from 5:30 to 6:30.
That's right.
And then also on Wednesday, July 10th at Delaware Library.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
And then on Tuesday, July 23rd at Orange.
Yes.
And you can always check our website, delawarelibrary.org, for those programs and any others. It's searchable. It's easy to use. So go on out there and check out our events
what
calendar.
ages do you think enjoy this the most, Erica?
Yeah, I say I can usually keep 3-year-olds entertained for a half an hour, up to about 7, 8. Occasional 9-year-old. I love to have something in my shows that appeals to all audiences. There's a little bit of reading.
Kids,
there's a lot of bit of appearing and disappearing flowers, and
if you're a magic kid, this is really a great show for you.
For sure.
Isn't
And
it?
comedy magic, silly and goofy. I just love to be all those things, and just give parents and kids a chance to be together and experience something that they can laugh at and make a memory together. Oh, and my book is being released today, which is really exciting. Yeah,
That's
so I can't believe I didn't lead with that.
Happy launch day.
Oh, thank you so much. It's been available for pre-order for about 3.5 weeks or so, and it's officially being released today.
Where can people go to find it?
Thank you. EricaCarlsonBooks.com.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. So you heard it here first.
That's fantastic.
The library is so generous. I'm able to offer book sales after my shows, too.
Oh, good.
So
good.
Be ready because this is coming up.
Yep.
You're
But no
gonna see
pressure.
her soon.
You can also just get it from the library, I think, eventually, once it's there.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want your own copy, it will be available.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me today.
Oh, thanks for coming.
Thank you for coming so much.
We're down to our last couple minutes. And it's Summer Reading Club.
It is Summer Reading Club.
So we have so many things going on. Molly,
Jayna, is it too late for somebody to sign up for Summer Reading
No,
Club?
it is never too late. Well, I mean, eventually it becomes too late.
Because the program's over.
But right now is a perfect time. And I want to say this again. I tell everybody this. It's not just for kids.
No.
Grown-ups, teenagers, you can all get into the action. You can still earn cool prizes.
And is it $1 million to join?
It's $0
It's
to join.
$0. That's my favorite thing to tell kids. They're always curious what's it cost. Nothing, and you get amazing prizes.
Yeah.
We also have a lot of exciting things coming up this week. On Thursday at our Liberty branch, we have Tailwise Science Adventures, The Lost Treasure. That's from 2 to 3. And Friday, June 14th, I'm really excited. One of my own friends, Team Comic Making with local artist Brian Moss will be there at the Liberty branch from 2 to 3.
And Brian is amazing.
Brian is
artist.
Amazing.
Yep.
Just a cool person, too. You can ask him about anything. What have you seen, Jayna, that you'd like them to know about?
Well, I want everybody to know that if you like magic, definitely check out Erica. But we also have Magic Nate coming in. I know you two have performed together.
We're actually getting breakfast together after this.
That's
to talk magic.
Yes. So that's on Monday, June 10th. That's at Orange Branch. And then going back to our teens, we have pet portraits with another local artist, Betsy Garish, I believe it is. And that will be Tuesday, June 11th at 2 o'clock at Delaware. So that's always a really neat program.
I want to shout out a adult program we have coming up too that I think is really, really neat, and I feel like people miss this a lot. Tuesday, June 11th, we have NAMI in Our Own Voices coming.
Oh, that's amazing.
And this is a presentation talking about personal perspectives on mental health. We hear mental health talked about all the time. NAMI is one of the experts in this field, one of our partners.
I've worked with them before at NAMI Fest.
It's wonderful what they're doing, and this is a great time if you're curious about mental health and what those experiences are like. There are people willing to share that. So adults, we're looking forward to seeing you at our Orange Branch from 6 to 7 on Tuesday, June 11th. So come and see us.
And I think that is our time for today. Thank you again, Erica Carlson. You are amazing. And Sedgie, so cute.
Oh, thank you so much.
And thanks for tuning in, everybody. We'll see you in the library.
Happy reading.